Anger is a powerful emotion marked by hostility towards someone or something perceived as intentionally causing harm. This intense emotional response is a primal fight-or-flight mechanism triggered when personal boundaries are violated, encompassing experiences such as betrayal, disrespect, threats to safety, and neglectful or demeaning behavior. While anger isn't always overwhelmingly intense, it transforms into rage when it spirals out of control. Despite its negative connotations, anger serves as a positive and innate defense mechanism designed to safeguard individuals. Acknowledging anger is acceptable, but it should ideally be a healthy and proportional response that dissipates rather than festers in order to maintain emotional well-being. Anger can have significant effects on the body, impacting both physical and mental well-being. When you experience anger, your body releases stress hormones, which can lead to increased heart rate, heightened inflammation, reduced lung function, and chronic diseases like heart disease. Prolonged and intense anger can strain the cardiovascular system, potentially increasing the risk of hypertension and cardiovascular disease. Additionally, anger can affect your immune system, leading to inhibited immune cells and increased inflammation. Managing anger is crucial for overall health. Unaddressed anger issues can contribute to mental health problems, emotional distress, heart disease, and compromised immunity. Anger management is a technique devised to help you control anger rather than letting anger control you. With anger management, one can learn to control their own anger and become less angry or be controlled less by anger. Seeking support from mental health specialists and learning healthy coping mechanisms can help manage anger effectively and improve overall well-being. Anger is not a reflection of character flaws, but rather an indicator of deeper needs. To effectively address it, follow these steps to gradually enhance your emotional tolerance, attain self-mastery, and rewire your brain for controlled emotional expression. While seemingly straightforward, this step proves challenging yet transformative. Numerous studies emphasize the significance of recognizing and naming emotions. Those adept at describing experiences with precise language tend to regulate their emotions better. Instead of relying on broad terms like angry, delve into the nuances of your feelings. Move beyond generic adjectives and explore the intricacies. The goal is to shift from simplistic, black-and-white thinking to a clearer understanding of your emotions. When faced with anger, pause, internally identify your specific feelings, and over time articulate or document them for better emotional regulation. Once you've begun identifying and expressing your emotions, pay attention to the needs that surface. For instance, consistent feelings of disrespect may signal a need for respect. Investigate whether this need stems from past deficiencies or current interpersonal conflicts. Engage in open conversations with trusted friends to gain fresh insights into how your behavior affects your unmet needs. Initiate this exploration before or after moments of anger, leveraging moments of calm for clarity. In safe relationships, communicate with your partner, seeking their support and patience. Acknowledge and apologize for any harm caused by your anger. Work towards meeting or releasing these needs, gradually diminishing triggers for ongoing anger. For instance, if respect is a crucial need, begin by fostering self-respect. Identify one self-respectful behavior to practice this week, contributing to the reduction or removal of triggers for persistent anger. In the process of identifying your needs, you'll likely unveil associated pain. This pain, stemming from unmet needs and violated boundaries, is valid. Although confronting it may seem daunting, doing so diminishes its ability to undermine and control you. Acknowledging this pain empowers you to change your behavior. When anger surfaces, resist harmful reactions and instead ask yourself, what is a more constructive response in this moment? While emotions are beneficial, suppressing them allows them to linger, potentially turning toxic. Reflect on your typical responses to anger. Whether you tend to withdraw, verbally lash out, or act aggressively, consider how you can improve your reactions to recurring situations that provoke anger. While some may recommend activating anger in a controlled environment like punching a pillow, throwing things, and rage rooms, this is not a healthy or productive way to resolve or deal with anger because it connects the internal emotion of anger with problematic verbal behaviors or aggressive behaviors. Instead, Dr. 𝙤𝙪𝙧 advocates using 𝙨𝙪𝙥𝙥𝙪 RAIN method: recognize, allow, investigate, nurture. This method allows you to look at your anger without suppressing or dangerously fueling it. All of this happens with compassion and kindness towards the self. Ultimately, this method takes the first 3 tips and combines them all with an attitude of compassion and self-discovery. If you're angry, recognize it as anger, allow yourself to feel the emotions, and observe what those emotions are. Investigate why you are feeling this anger, and then with compassion, seek to nurture yourself. Start small. We get it, you want to deal with this and be done with it. While there are short-term coping mechanisms to manage anger, it will take time and work to actually reduce the anger. Moving too fast may be counterproductive. Also, as you work on dealing with anger, it may feel like it's getting worse. Build up your tolerance for the strength of your emotions and allow yourself the freedom to pull back if it's too much. Your safety and the safety of others are paramount. You don't have to do this alone. Reach out to a therapist or coach who has experience working with anger. At times, a break is essential. Step away, take a stroll outdoors, or find a serene spot to regain emotional composure. Nature, with its calming effects, is particularly beneficial for lowering blood pressure and alleviating anger. If possible, communicate your need for space before leaving. Express your feelings, saying something like, "I love you and I'm not shutting you out, but I need some space right now." In a professional setting, excuse yourself for a moment or request to defer the conversation, stating, "I need time to process. I'll provide my response this afternoon/tomorrow/end of the week." Avoid dramatic exits like slamming doors or delivering parting shots. Return later when both parties are calmer to discuss the issue. While temporary withdrawal is acceptable, it's crucial not to let the incident linger unresolved. In relationships, unresolved conflicts accumulate over time, undermining the connection. In a work context, unaddressed anger can contribute to burnout and other stress-related health issues. While momentarily distracting and suppressing anger can offer immediate relief, the underlying issue persists. Dr. 𝙤𝙪𝙧 wisely notes that healthy anger is transient, safeguarding boundaries and then dissipating. Techniques for suppressing anger often involve physical activities like running, boxing, or showering, but this may lead to the manifestation of suppressed anger in the body. Research indicates that suppressing anger can result in hypertension, emotional numbness, depression, anxiety, disordered eating, and skin disorders. Instead of suppressing anger, redirect it purposefully. Utilize coping mechanisms typically employed for suppression but with a focused intent. The objective is not to evade or deny anger but to achieve both physical and emotional release. During activities like running, envision the anger flowing down your body, pounding into the pavement. When cleaning, use descriptive language to wipe away unhelpful emotions and dust off those that serve you well. While dancing or exercising, incorporate a mental exercise that builds boundaries, physically pushing arms away and firmly saying no. If you have a spiritual practice, integrate prayer into these activities. Rather than silently processing anger, give voice to your feelings and verbally release those emotions. Disarm yourself with humor if you're angry and can't see the other person's perspective. It might feel strange and takes intentional focus, but it can immediately deflect and calm the situation. Laughter is so unique because it can change the energy in a room. This is especially effective if you're angry or annoyed and the other person doesn't realize it. If you're in the middle of an argument, please don't randomly tell a dad joke. And please, don't use sarcasm. While it may seem straightforward, understanding why you're consistently angry with your children often boils down to three main factors: excessive stress in other areas of your life, triggering unresolved wounds from your own childhood, or a lack of teaching boundaries and self-regulation to your child. Given the likelihood of experiencing stress on Earth, start by pinpointing one stress-inducing aspect in your life and find ways to limit or eliminate it. Can someone else handle picking up the kids after school? Is it feasible to work from home one day a week? Can you establish boundaries with critical in-laws? Once you've lightened your load, dig deeper into your anger triggers. Identify the specific reasons behind your anger, recognizing that it's not about your child but rather an opportunity for personal growth. Creating a safe and secure environment for your child necessitates investing time and effort in your own self-improvement. Many instances of anger stem from miscommunication and misunderstandings, particularly within relationships. Whether conveyed verbally or non-verbally, what we say often differs from what we mean. If open communication is a challenge in your relationship, anger can naturally accumulate. When irritation arises with your loved one, take a moment to pause and engage in 3 slow, deep breaths. Reflect on the reason for your anger and express it, avoiding accusations. Instead, try phrases like, "When you did/said that, I felt like you were belittling me, disrespecting me, or not listening to me," or "It seems like you're upset about something. Do you want to talk about it?" If open communication is not the norm, initiate a conversation about strengthening communication rather than springing it unexpectedly on the other person. If you're constantly angry with your family, there's probably a history of boundary violations. Or maybe, just maybe, you've been the one who doesn't respect others' boundaries. Either way, boundary violations inherently create anger. Anger and resentment because you can't stand up for yourself. Or even anger and resentment because the other person lets you trample on them. Setting boundaries helps to remove those feelings of helplessness and gives you control. That can go a long way in reducing anger. Think about one family member that makes you angry. Write down what they do that infuriates you. You're looking for the trigger. If you don't know, get curious and look for patterns in how you interact with each other. Write down one boundary you'd like to implement with them. If you identify a boundary you violate, apologize to the other person and tell them you'd like to work on respecting their boundaries. Start small and don't drag up all your grievances with this person. Sometimes communicating verbally is helpful. In other situations, it's more effective to casually implement the boundary without making a big fuss. Do what resonates with you and your history with the other person. For example, if phone calls with this person always end up with you fuming after the call, don't answer their call before bed or before a fun activity you have planned. You don't need to cut them off completely, but set parameters around when you have the emotional capacity to handle a call. Then you don't have to get angry with them for ruining your day off or keeping you from sleeping at night. If you found this video helpful, check out this other inspiring video. Subscribe to our channel and remember, start applying the steps in this video and start controlling your anger.